The government has prosecuted its first landlord for renting an unconsented garage as a home to a family in South Auckland. The prosecution is the first under a 2016 law that allows the government to prosecute bad landlords. The Manurewa landlord was ordered to refund nearly $16,000 in rent to a young family. Meanwhile, a family displaced by extreme flooding in West Auckland last weekend say they'll consider taking their landlord to the Tenancy Tribunal after losing almost all their possessions. Dhruv Sabarawan is one of 15 tenants living in 6 units left homeless after their Gleneden apartment block, owned by the Wellpark Trust, was flooded last Sunday afternoon. Mr Sabarawan is angry that he was not warned the unit was a flood risk when he moved in last January, and he's investigating taking action against his landlord, Philip Davis. Zach Fleming has more.
Another angry tenant who wants answers.
He knew about it, then why didn't he tell me? And that's it. I need an answer. If he did it intentionally, then I don't know what to do. If they would have told us, then there is absolutely no chance that I would have moved in here.
Dhruv Sabarawan lost almost everything at the weekend when more than 60 millimetres of rain hit West Auckland in just 1 hour. He says he feels cheated and had a right to know his ground floor unit was flood prone when he moved in January. He says his landlord, Philip Davis of the Wellpark Trust, robbed him of that right.
The insurance people told me that it seems to them that we are underinsured. We are substantially underinsured. So I don't think everything would be covered, and most of the things that are not covered, it's a total loss, and we would probably be using that money to just buy the basic things that we need for living, clothes, kitchenware, things like that.
Checkpoint investigations have revealed the property had flooded before in 2012. And Mr Davis, a Barfoot and Thompson real estate agent, was told the property was at significant flood risk before the Wellpark Trust bought it just 3 months later. Dhruv, who paid $400 a week for the 2-bedroom unit, is considering taking Philip Davis to the Tenancy Tribunal. Former Auckland Council stormwater engineer Peter Kovacevic remembers advising Philip Davis the property was flood-prone back in 2012.
He would have been certainly advised by me, and I would imagine anybody else from council associated with it, that the property had significant flood issues associated with it.
Dhruv and the other tenants affected have been living in motels paid for by Auckland Council since Sunday, at a cost of more than $5,500 to taxpayers. Auckland Mayor Phil Goff says he expects landlords to take responsibility if their properties are flood-prone.
We cannot have a situation where tenants are constantly subject, or repeatedly subject, should I say, to flooding and loss of their property, their cars, their personal possessions. It's not a fair go, and we'd have to look at remediating that, both by council action and by action on the part of the landlord.
The families impacted by the weekend's floods are being moved to longer-term emergency accommodation in Mount Eden, a building owned by Auckland Transport that's conveniently empty as it's due to be demolished for development of the City Rail link. They're allowed to stay there until the end of April, and Auckland Council's also helping them with clothes and other necessities. But for Dhruv, the damage is done.
These are the things that I did not look into the last time when I moved in here, and I guess that was because of the trust factor, which has now been broken this time, so I'm not going to repeat my mistakes.
Philip Davis continues to ignore requests for an interview.
Hi, this is Philip Davis. If you could please leave me the address of the property that you're interested in and your telephone number slowly, I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
For Checkpoint, Zach Fleming.